Today I've gotten a very special package. Let's have a look and see. Oh, whoa. Oh, dude. This is so sick.
So yeah, I have finally gotten myself this amazing model which I've wanted ever since I saw one in the old catalogue back in the day when GW still had the catalogue that you had to order from. I got myself a Thunderhawk Gunship. Woo! And mind blown, but there is a twist. Hello, my name's Kev and this is the Hobby Corner, and today we're going to be discussing Warhammer 40,000 Epic. That's right. So there's been a little bit of a trend at the moment because of the more readily available 3D printers going on in the market, and more people in the community getting their hands on it. It also means that more people are looking into older things to reprint for themselves, or they go to other miniatures companies and print out stuff there using the STL files and such. But one of the amazing things which has sort of started to get momentum at the moment, and you know, even though it's been around for a little while,
Luke from Geek Gaming Scenics
kind of to blame for giving it an extra push. You know, link in the description to check him out if you don't already. He printed out his own Wood Elf army in like a day, and he had it all painted up and everything, and that's amazing for one thing. Secondly, it brings that the bonuses of what it is to have that scale of an army. So let's just rewind a little bit. So, you know, back in the 90s, when I started going to Games Workshop, you had your Space Marines and Orcs, you had Tyranids, Eldar, and then on the other side you had Bretonnians, Lizardmen, Orcs, the Empire, Elves and such. And then one day I saw two chaps in the store playing with itty bitty little things, and I thought, what the heck is that? And I had a closer look, and it turned out these were itty bitty tiny versions of the game that I had already started collecting. Now of course I must have been about 8 or 9, only just started collecting Warhammer 40,000, and so, you know, I'm only on the building and painting side of things. I haven't really invested any time to learn the game because, you know, that's another thing to do, and at that age, you know, you just want to build and paint the stuff, you know, and make it look awesome. So yeah, seeing that was amazing. But also at that time, and you know, around that time and going on a little bit, I was a massive fan of Micro Machines. So for those who don't remember, Micro Machines was literally just that, Micro Machines. They were little, anything from a little car, bikes, trucks, tanks, planes, and they had little people as well, and they were all about that size as well. So it's kind of a similar scale, and of course you could build your own cities, and you can have like massive bunkers and stuff, and had an aircraft carrier as well, which was pretty cool. But yeah, seeing Warhammer 40,000, which was a love of mine, and it being at that scale of Micro Machines, which, you know, again was a love of mine, was just amazing. The concept just blew my mind. Okay, so I saw that and I was like, oh, I really want to get into that, but of course, being a kid, subject to pocket money and all that, don't have a lot of money, plus it would have been well out of my skill set to, you know, handle that sort of scale minis. Anyway, you blink, it disappeared off the shelves, and it was only ordered from the magazine for a couple more years before it disappeared entirely. Fast forward many years later, everyone's got 3D printers, everyone's making their own things, and a very awesome chap named Dan, so go check that out, link down there. The 11th Legion is an amazing channel, by the way. He had started printing out his own 10mm versions of Space Marines and stuff, and when he showed me, I was like, can I get on that? Because that's amazing. That just brought back all that nostalgia and all that passion I had for Warhammer 40,000 and for Micro Machines and putting it all together and seeing it go. So yeah, I needed to do it, and Dan, being amazing as he was, kindly obliged, and he made me tons of stuff. He made me dreads, he made me bikes, he made me tons of troops. He did all the characters. He did, well, all the HQ choices. He did all of the heavy weapons teams and stuff. And then he contacted me because he was just printing the stuff out and sorting out the STL files, making sure that the quality was good. And he contacted me and said, how would you like a Thunderhawk? Because I just found a file for a Thunderhawk. And of course, a Thunderhawk, it's one of those minis which is like sort of almost legendary, whether it's something that you saw back way when it was just a wooden box full of ridiculously heavy metal that just wouldn't stay together for life or limb, or if it was the resin set that you saw later on. Everyone knows what a Thunderhawk is, and it is for many a hobby goal to own one, just like it is to own a Titan for many people. Anyway, I digress. So I opened up the box and I had a heck of a lot of things to look at. We had dreads, we had razorbacks, rhinos, a Sakaran, what? Bikes, and all the HQ choices, plus we had loads of heavy weapon squads as well. Amazing. But the crown jewel, of course, was the Thunderhawk. Now, I won't save that for the end as a little treat. So I got cracking with the tanks. With all of the pieces, they didn't need any bathing or anything like that because they're washed as part of the process to cure them, which is amazing. So I literally just had to clean up the supports where they were, and then a little bit of super glue where needed. That held everything down nicely. Of course, I painted everything in Ultramarines scheme, but I wanted to go for the classic one. So of course, when I get to the troops, I'll do the yellow rims, but I wanted to have the red gun casing and stuff like that. So of course, Macragge blue, Calgar blue, non-oil washers, a little bit of a dry brush, pick out all the details of the tracks and everything, a lead belcher, and then freehand the chapter single because I didn't have decals small enough. And then of course, once that's done, add a bit of weathering about damage, which was easy enough because it's just a little bit of dry brushing. Job done. And as you can see, they look absolutely amazing. But then I started painting the bikes, and you know what, I couldn't fight it any longer, so I went straight to the Thunderhawk. And of course, what an amazing sculpt it is. So once again, thank you so much, Dan. So it needs just a little bit of filing, just to smoothen it out where the supports were and everything, but apart from that, it went together like a dream. So of course I made sure I roughed up the areas where I'm going to glue the pieces together just so there's more contact, and it's stuck together really well. I then glued it onto this wooden stick that I had lying around for some reason, and I primed it, started painting it. So again, I did the same paint scheme as the tanks, but with a slight difference. I didn't use non-oil for shading, I used Agrex Earthshade. Gives it a more greasy look, and of course, you know, with re-entry through the atmosphere, and you know, with flak fire, it's going to produce a different look. So you know, it actually looks really cool now. Did a little bit of highlighting, picked out some of the details, of course red on the weapons, and then I used the decal sheet that I had for my Space Marines, because of course this has larger flat areas to do it, so it was perfect. And then once that had set and dried, I sealed them in and then moved on to the battle damage, which again was real easy. Just used a little bit of spongy foam stuff that you can get in packaging or in your miniature cases when you pull out the spare bits. So stippled on some Abaddon black, maybe did some streaking lines, did the same with the silver on top, the lead belcher that I used, and it gave it a nice worn, weathered look. And it looks like it's seen a lot of combat, but at the same time it's seen a lot of re-entry and stuff like that. It's got that sort of look to it, so it's really cool. But I needed a base to match it, and of course just painting up the base isn't going to be good enough, so I cut the wooden stick down to size. I drilled holes at either end, cut paper clip to the right size. To keep it more sturdy on the base, I had hooked the paper clip round and glued it so that it's got a more purchase on the base. Fitted it all together, and then I sacrificed a rhino and a troop, just because, you know, gotta have a bit of drama going on there. It's like a mini diorama really, so you know, just crunched it up really easy. And then with the spare bits that were left over from building and cleaning up the rest of the models, you know, little bits of resin and that, little bits of plastic sprue that I had left over from other things, sprinkled that on the base with some super glue, put down a little bit of card, you know, it's just for taller building walls, and then put down loads of texture paint. And as a good friend of mine says, when all else fails, spray black and start again. So of course sorry Rich. So of course the tank was already painted, but in order to get a uniform job done, I sprayed the entire thing and then worked on that again. So did the tank nice and easily, dry brushed everything, tried to have some variation in the color of the base, just so, you know, got a bit of mud, a bit of gravel, that sort of thing. Painted up the battle damage on the tank as well, and painted up the little dude, and there you go. I got my Thunderhawk finally. After 20 odd years of being in the hobby, I have achieved a goal. And of course it's not the full metal or resin version, but I'll tell you what, it brings my passion for, you know, micro machines, 40k, having it all together. It's amazing. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. What would you print out differently? If you had the option, would you choose a different race? Would you choose different weapons or different vehicles? Let me know. Also, if you want to keep up to date, I have loads more to do. Like I said, I've got dreads, bikes, troops, so if you want to see how those go, so hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon as well, so then you won't miss a thing, and throw in a like, why not? Also, there are plenty of social media links down below, so go check those out. You can keep up to date with me there. There are fantastic Facebook groups. The best one by far is the Chilling Wargamers Network. I'm a proud member of the network, so you know, I can vouch that they are amazing people. And of course, there are also plenty of ways to support the channel, so you can go and make donations, or you can hit the link to Element Games, which is the best way, of course, because you get yourself some fantastic savings on your hobby supplies or pre-orders or whatever. Doesn't cost you anything extra to do so, and of course if you enter in that code that's just above the link, you also get yourself some bonus loyalty points, which is basically money in your pocket for more paint. So I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to get the rest of this done. So yeah, I can't wait to see what you think in the comments as well. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. It brings in my passion for my tiny things, and well, I've got to edit that one out.